My work is about many things. So it's about landscape, about light, and about space. I mean, you can ask me about my titles, and a lot of people think my titles are very boring because I go untitled this, or exposed painting that, or just the colours. The minute I call it something, Gull and Sky at Night, or Walk There, it shuts it down. It really shuts it down. So I don't really think about the viewer. Ultimately, when you do a show and you're considering how people will view the work, you think about it, but not in the process of making it. I like orange. I'm being honest. It's a colour that I've worked with for many years, but also it's a very luminous colour. And the violet is, the red violet is on the other panel. It's quite a deep colour, and it does create a space on a void. So you have one that projects and one that's a void. Everything in my work is about being something, a good Scottish word for you, off-kilter. So it's not quite right. So when you stand in front of these wall paintings, at first they appear to be a rectangle, and as you realise they're not, there's a gentle curve on one side just pulling it. And it's just a way of bringing you into that corner of the exhibition. And really it was a response to the space, because in the Tårnsalen, the circular feature is so dominant that I wanted something very physical in the wall. And it was a response to how do you deal with that space. But it's a very beautiful space, but it's a very strong space. But when you have such a dominant architectural thing, you need to deal with it. And that was my way of dealing with it. What happens in the watercolours is I put two colours together which are opposites, and they make a new colour. Never know what the colour's going to be like because the pigments all bite in different ways, but you also make a space within the colour. And when I start making them, I make them one after another and one after another and go back and forward. And I get into a rhythm. And when you get into a rhythm of making something, you start to understand it more. Paris blue or sapphire blue is quite nice. Maybe that might work. Let's go for a transparent yellow. So in a way it's maybe a bit cathartic as well. So I'm just concentrating on making these watercolours. So I might have some that are much more luminous than others. And then I might do something where the pigment might bite more and suddenly it becomes heavier again. And then you make 4 or 5 heavy ones. So when I tend to show them sequentially, the way they're made. It's very important because otherwise you'd be there all day hanging them because, well, that one looks good next to that one. Or, no, that doesn't. And you end up with all the crap ones at the end. And, you know, they don't quite fit in. But the crap ones fit in the sequence. That when you take them out, it's like, you know, if you ask people what their favourite colour is, 9 times out of 10 they'll say blue. All the blue ones go. You're left with nothing else. The monologue painting is a canvas that has been covered with grey oil paint. And it looks like I've dissolved it from the top, but I've actually dissolved it from the bottom to the top. So there's always a kind of mystery about how things are made. I used to be a figurative artist, and my education was figuration. I made very expressive paintings all about the mark making, about the figure, and about a personal mythology. I slowly decided that they were wrong, they weren't right. So I started taking the figure out of the work. And through the process of taking the figure completely out, the last painting ended up with a kind of abstract background and just an oval to symbolise a head. So I got rid of the artist's hand, the mark making, the myth making, whatever, it just became an object. And really the monologues are about that as well. They could have made themselves, but they haven't. The process of making a painting is a very physical thing. There's a physicality of the object, the painting, the application of paint, the chaos that ensues round about it on the wall. There's something quite magical about standing there and making it. Whether at the end of the day you end up destroying it, or whether at the end of the day you edit it out, or whatever.